Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight, the mixed martial arts fight. Please welcome to the ring, fighting for the red corner. Give it up for Luke Smith.
Leaving the crowd eagerly awaiting his entrance. Maybe trying to build up the tension. Maybe he just can't find it right here. I don't know.
Struggling to put his gloves on, perhaps. Next bout will be an amateur MMA match.
It appears we may be having some difficulties locating Luke Smith. We will try and keep you informed as soon as we know what's happening.
Whilst we're waiting for the next match, let's just go over the amateur MMA rules again, as they are slightly different to what you'll see in professional bouts in the UFC, Bellator and One Championship. So, you are allowed to ground and pound. You are not allowed to knee a downed or grounded opponent. Downed or grounded is defined by the opponent being on their back or with both knees on the ground. So that would be no knees to the head to a downed opponent.
And in these white collar matches, you won't see any knee to the head. Amateur white collar bouts, there are no knees to the head, no elbows to opponents. You can knee to the body. You can knee to the body on the ground, but you cannot knee to the head in any position in these white collar MMA fights. Luke Smith making his way to the cage here. He shaved his head before this fight. He's looking quite mean. He looks ready.
He is much friendlier than he looks. Will be an amateur MMA match contested over 3 rounds.
Yes, Jack. 3 minutes, 3 rounds. So obviously 3 minutes within each round. Hayden Molding Dennis Beaver in the corner of Luke Smith there, a very experienced amateur MMA fighter himself, also experienced in Thai boxing and boxing, so he's great to be in the corner for these fighters. Alfie Quinn making his way to the cage with Starkey Martial Arts, his head coach Kieran Starkey. He will be looking much more to be on the ground, I would think. They're a heavily grappling based gym, wouldn't you say, Jack?
I would agree with you, Sam. Myself and Sam have had the pleasure of training with their head coach Kieran, and he is a tremendous grappler.
And all being well, that translates to his students. So I think we will see a grappling-based attack from Alfie Quinn. And I think Luke Smith, he has some judo experience, but I think he will look to keep this on the feet. I'll be surprised if he goes to the ground. Maybe he'll try some judo throws and land in judo side control. That would be good for him.
It will be interesting to see how the judo translates to the MMA context without the gi.
And with a touch of gloves, we are underway.
Both fighters very loose in a long bladed stance. Strong low kick to the thigh.
Alfie Quinn opens up with a 1-2 and a T.
Nice feints by Luke. It'll be even better to see him build off those as the fight develops.
Good right hand there by Luke.
Alfie has him pinned against cage wall.
I think he'll look for some trips here along the cage, trying to get his opponent to the mat. Do need to be careful of that illegal knee.
Nice breakaway by Luke.
Alfie utilising that lead T, but he wants to keep distance. He's slightly longer than Luke. Nice body kick. Big swing by Luke, but misses.
Alfie is really utilising his length so far throughout some nice jabs, some nice deep, nice side kick there too. Really makes the most of his longer frame.
A lovely, nice lead side kick there. Lands very well. And Luke pressuring with the boxing now.
Nice pressure towards the cage, trying to inch it.
And there's that judo trip.
Absolutely fantastic Uchimata to bring the fight to the ground. He's in close guard, but his opponent is initiating rubber guard. He's to zombie that hand to the mat, and he has.
And he's an incredibly long frame. He's going for that dead orchard position, isn't he, Jeff?
That is a triangle with two arms in. As Sam said, that's called a dead orchard. Difficult to finish, but with a longer frame, it is easier.
And it'll work for an arm. He's trying to switch to an arm bar. He needs to find an angle here. And with that, that is the end of the round. So Jack, for our viewers who maybe haven't seen so much grappling, just tell us what was going on there when Alfie was on his back.
So Luke initiated the exchange with a nice Uchimata, which is a major inner leg throw. But when it was brought down to the ground, he ended up in the top of a closed guard position where his opponent initiated rubber guard. Rubber guard is simply where you grab your leg, you bring it up at the opponent's neck, and you can go for submissions such as triangles. Traditional triangles are done with one arm in and one arm out, but his opponent initiated a dead orchard, which is a triangle with both arms in. It is harder to finish, but if you can get it going, it is exceptionally tight with that other arm being in there. It's a tough round to judge, because although Luke initiated the grappling exchange, you could argue that Alfie got the better of it with that submission attempt, which looked tight.
You really could. It was a dangerous position to be in, so it's all how the judges see it. Was it the big takedown or the submission attempt? With that, we are down with round two. It'd be nice to see some more leg kicks here from Luke, and maybe some boxing.
Alfie continuing to use his range well.
I agree, Alfie utilising that long frame very well. Luke's probably not used to it. He's a quite tall person himself. He probably hasn't really come up against too many people who are as tall as him.
Catches the kick. Might be nice to see him sweep the leg. Ooh, well put down.
Alfie now with the pressure on the cage. It looks like he's working for submission here.
Looking like for an anaconda choke. Trying to bring it to the ground. That's where you need to bring it to finish the choke. Oh, switching off to a single leg. Goes back to guillotine. Standing
high elbow guillotine here. That looks tight, and he's tapped.
What a finish.
Beautiful finish by Alfie Quinn.
Guillotine.
That's a brilliant finish by Alfie Quinn. Switches to the high elbow guillotine and gets the finish.
That was an excellent sequence. You saw him shoot for the takedown. He showed options. He showed the single leg, showed the anaconda, and then finally finished it with a standing guillotine. Fantastic. Reminiscent of John Jones and Lyoto Machida. Very dangerous submission. Very hard to get out of, and a very horrible place to end up.
Absolutely. It's a very horrible position to be stuck into. It immediately restricts blood flow and breathing. It's a very hard position to get out of once you're there. And I think he also overwhelmed Luke with the different grappling threats that he posed. Very well done to Alfie Quinn.
Fighting out of the blue corner,
Well done to both those fighters. Showed heart, showed toughness, but ultimately Alfie Quinn, with that experienced grappling background he has, comes away with the submission victory.